It was December 1980, northern Minnesota, a place where winter didn't negotiate. It took what it wanted and checked for survivors in the morning. Temperatures had dropped past 30 below. The air sounded brittle, like it could crack if you spoke too loudly. Somewhere along a narrow country road, a young woman moved through the darkness, trying to reach a house she knew was close, but the night was quicker than she was. By sunrise, they found her frozen in the snow, rigid, eyes open. The cold had settled into her like it planned to stay, and it wasn't finished. John Hilliard is 19, born and raised in Lengby, a small Minnesota town where nothing happens fast, including the winters. She studies, works part-time at the local store, and still sleeps under her parents' roof because that's what people here do until life tells them otherwise. She's not loud, but she shows up, covers a shift without being asked, helps out because it's easier than explaining why not. People like that keep small towns running, even if nobody says it out loud. Tonight she's driving home from Fosston after spending the evening with friends. Her car is an old rear-wheel Ford LTD that handles ice the way old men handle stairs. Cautiously, then suddenly, not at all. The road cuts through forest and open fields, long stretches of nothing, broken only by the occasional mailbox leaning like it gave up months ago. No houses, no headlights, just frost creeping across the windshield faster than the heater can fight back. Somewhere around midnight, the Ford loses traction. The rear wheels slide out once, then again, and on the third drift, the car drops nose first into a ditch and dies on the spot. No phone, no passing cars, no real choice, but Jean knows her friend Wally Nelson lives a couple miles away. So she steps out into the cold and starts walking. It's around -30. The kind of temperature where your breath freezes before it leaves your lips, and clothing becomes more of a suggestion than protection. Jean pushes through snow that grabs at her ankles and makes every step a decision. Her jeans and winter coat buy her a few minutes of comfort, then nothing at all. The wind isn't strong, just persistent, the kind that keeps reminding you who's in charge out here. After a while she starts to shiver. Then the shivering slows. That's the early sign the cold is working its way inward. The body isn't panicking anymore. It's shutting down. Sometime after 1 in the morning she finally sees it, Wally's porch light, a dull square of yellow through the trees, close enough to feel like a promise. She tries to reach it, but her legs buckle, her arms stiffen. Control fades in seconds, not minutes. John collapses in the snow 4 meters from the door, close enough to hear the house creak in the cold, too far for her hands to find the doorknob. The night finishes the rest. Around 7, Wally steps outside to check the yard before starting his day. He notices a strange shape in the snow, something that doesn't match the drifts he's used to seeing. When he gets closer, the outline sharpens into a boot, then a leg, then a face he recognizes. Jean is frozen solid. Her hair is cemented to her scalp. Her skin is rigid and grey. Her eyes are open and glazed with ice, staring past him like she froze mid-thought. Anyone else calls it right there, dead. But Wally doesn't. He drags her inside, calls for help and waits because some part of him refuses to leave her out there. Paramedics arrive and hit the usual wall. Nothing registers. Her temperature is too low for the equipment. Her pulse barely flickers under their fingers. Her veins are frozen stiff, needles bounce back. Her pupils don't react to light. She looks gone. At Fosston Hospital, the staff knows the unofficial rule. You're not dead until you're warm and dead. So they try. Slow warming blankets, heating pads, no sudden temperature jumps. That's a good way to trigger a fatal rhythm on a heart that's barely beating. They don't talk much. There's nothing to say that helps. Hours pass. Then one nurse notices a small movement, a twitch in Jean's finger, something subtle enough to miss if you blink. Her skin softens, her pulse grows steadier. By late morning she opens her eyes and says her parents' names. Not a miracle speech, just enough to prove she's still in there. She stays for days, some frostbite on her legs, but nothing that needs cutting, nothing that matches the state she was found in. At the hospital, the numbers say she should be dead, the body says otherwise. Brains don't usually reboot after a night like hers, but hers does it without even stuttering. Someone drops the term protective hypothermia, not because they've solved anything, because they need a label when the universe hands them something that doesn't fit the shelves. The theory goes like this: cool the body just slowly enough. Everything powers down instead of blowing out. A neat story, convenient, and probably incomplete. Because the cold she was in, that's not the protective kind. That's the kind that kills livestock, cracks steel, and erases people without leaving a headline. Yet it puts John in some narrow holding pattern. Not alive, not dead, just waiting. The staff keeps trading explanations like poker chips, metabolism this, oxygen demand that. All of it sounds smart until you remember she froze hard enough that her hair was welded to her scalp. Call it science, call it luck, call it whatever you want. The truth is uglier. Every tiny variable leaned her way. The pace of the cooling, the wind that didn't pick up, the rewarming that didn't go too fast, the friend who woke up 7 minutes earlier than usual. Change any of it and she doesn't open her eyes. She gets a toe tag. But that's not the version we got. She wakes, heals, walks out of the hospital like the night never touched her, and she remembers none of it, which might be the most merciful part of the story. The night almost kept her. Almost.